happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. My beautiful friends, I've got a nice long juicy reading for you today, and we are asking, so I think this is one of your favorites, we are asking, what does your person want to say? These are channeled messages from your person's higher self. These are the messages they are dying for you to receive. Perhaps they can't tell you this directly, maybe they're scared to, perhaps you guys aren't in communication, but we're going to go really in depth with this reading. We're going to use the oracle cards and the message cards as well. I've got 3 piles for you to choose from, but before that, I just want to say a special thank you to the very kind souls that have sent me some decks. Now, this one, the Visconti di Madroni, I've wanted this for a very long time. This is a very special collectible deck, and this was sent to me. Oh, I've just dropped the note. This was sent to me by the very lovely Romy, and she said, I fell in love with these and I can't wait to hear a reading from this deck. I appreciate your amazing and detailed readings. Thank you. Thank you, Romy, for sending me this. This is very generous. Now, I'm going to be real with you. As for me reading with this deck, this is not a normal tarot deck. Look at the size of it for a start. I'm going to get it out and show you because it really is very special. But this is one of the first tarot decks created, the Tarocchi. And as you can see, it's very different from the traditional tarot. I'm not even sure how I'm meant to shuffle this. And I do need some practice with this deck before I'm going to be able to read with it on my channel. But thank you so much for this. This really has been at the top of my wish list for a long time. It's an absolute collector's piece, you know, one that I think every tarot reader or avid tarot collector should have. But I definitely need some practice with this deck. You know, it doesn't have numbers or words on it. And, you know, it's really quite different to what I'm used to working with. But thank you. I will bring it out for viewing at some point when I've had a chance to get to know it. Right, let me just pop this one back in its box. Oh, beautiful deck. That's so generous of you, Romy. Thank you. You guys really spoil me. And there's more. So we are using this one today. This is a Fairy Wisdom Oracle. I'm going to use this one today, and this was from Robin. And Robin says, Charlotte, I can't wait to see this deck in use. You're amazing. Enjoy your gift. Thank you, Robin. We're going to use that one today. And hold on, let me put this box back on. And I received a third one. Unfortunately, this one didn't come with a note. This is the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. Again, I need to explore this before I use it. So I'm not going to be using it today, but thank you again. This is a very collectible deck, a very special deck. So thank you so much. You guys are so generous. I really appreciate how you spoil me with decks. Thank you. So let's get on with your reading. Got 3 lovely piles for you to choose from. What does your person want to say to you? What are the messages that your person wants to send you? So let's take a look. In pile number 1, we've got the new edition of the Vagabond Wild Tarot. This is now available for purchase. I've got the second edition already, I believe. It might be the first. But what I love about this creator is that as her artistry improves, she keeps updating the deck. It's been fascinating to see. Oh, that's lovely. So that's the 4 of Wands. I wasn't expecting that. But it really is quite different to the previous editions, and I absolutely love it. So that's pile number 1, that lovely rainbow fluorite. In pile number 2, we've got the Modern Witch Tarot with phosphorite. And in pile number 3, we've got the Friends Tarot. If you enjoyed the Friends series, then this is a deck for you. And this is a piece of Lemurian quartz. So take your time choosing. There really is no right or wrong way. And it could be that you're actually drawn to more than one pile, and that's okay too. It just means there's messages in more than one pile for you. But I would ask you to consider that these are general readings. It's not a personal reading. Thousands of people watch these readings, so it might not resonate for you 100%. So you have to be discerning. Take the messages that work for you and leave those that don't. The timestamps are in the description box below. I prefer to choose my pile from the numbers in the timestamps, and that will take you also straight to your pile. So I will see you there. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Vagabond Wild Tarot and this lovely piece of fluorite. Now, whilst I'm shuffling, this beautiful grid you see here is actually for sale. I'm clearing out some of my own personal collection. I've got 3 of these, so make sure you check out my YouTube community page to receive instructions of how to purchase them. Now, if you're watching this video more than a few hours after it was uploaded, you've probably missed the boat, but make sure you subscribe or follow me on Instagram. All the links are down below if you want to be notified when I add some more. I'm just going to clear out my personal stuff, and when it's gone, it's gone. But this one includes these Lemurian blades, which are really hard to find and very, very special. And even these tiny little quartz points, they're individually cut. They're also pretty hard to find. So hopefully you can enjoy and be the lovely claimant of one of those. Let's give these a good shuffle. So we're asking today, what does your person want to say? These are channeled messages from your person's higher self. We're bringing forward all the details. We're going to use oracle cards, message cards and charms as well. And you can ask for a sign as well if that feels good to you even. Take a nice long deep breath. Hold your person in mind. And a sign can be anything at all. It can be an object, a flower, a symbol, an animal, a phrase, numbers, anything that works for you. And that just gives the universe an opportunity to really validate the messages that come through. And you might notice that sign outside of this reading as well, you know. So usually the universe has a beautiful way of drawing our attention to its power with some lovely syncs. Let me know down below if you find your sign. I love it when people do. I think it's so affirming. Okay, pile 1. That one's turned over, so we're going to keep it. It's the Tower in reverse. We've got the Moon. The King of Wands in reverse. That's Leo, Pisces energy so far. We've got Judgment. Lots of majors coming out for you. And the Ace of Cups. That's beautiful. Okay, let's clarify these as well. We've got the Eight of Swords. Justice. The Knight of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Cups. And the Emperor. So you've also got Aries, Cancer, Libra energy there. Lots of air energy, which is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra as well. Let's get some more cards as we go. So I'm going to start with this oracle deck. This is the Fairy Wisdom Oracle. This was a gift from Robin, I think. I can't remember already. No, Romy. Was it Romy or Robin? Thank you anyway, whichever one it is. You were so kind. Right, we have got Human Myth, Home Sweet Home, and the Flirt. And from the Everyday Witch Oracle, we have Meditation to Dig Deep, Air Magic, and Listening to Wisdom. And from the Animal, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, we've got the Peacock, the Eagle, and the Snake. We'll get more of these as we go. And from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, we've got the Hunter, little horse there for those of you looking for signs, and the Vessel. Okay, so let's start where we are. I'll get more as we go, of course. It's going to be a nice long meaty reading for you. There will be an extended today as well if this resonates for you. And the sun's coming out for you, pile 1. Oh, I'm loving spring weather. So what does your person want to say? Your person has a lot of fear. They're a very anxious person and they very much overthink things. And so this makes relationships particularly challenging because, you know, when we have a lot of intrusive thoughts or very negative and limiting beliefs about ourselves, about relationships, this very much interferes with a logical decision-making process. And I feel they really need you to understand that they are quite different from you in this respect. Even though you too have a lot of fear and anxiety, what I'm hearing is that you're more brave when it comes to opening your heart and to diving straight in. Your need for love is so great that you're prepared to take that risk. But they're asking you to understand that not everyone is like you. You know, we can't expect everyone to be like us. We all have different experiences which shape how we perceive the world and, you know, how we make decisions. So this is the first thing. You know, your person is very, very anxious, and so they're always leaning towards averting disaster. You know, that it's all about risk management. They're always weighing up the pros and cons, and they do a lot of what ifing. You know, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And that really demonstrates a high level of anxiety, because in truth, we never know what's going to happen. We can't really know what's going to happen. And there's never any evidence that things, you know, might work out really badly. So to make a decision based on an assumption or a what if, you know, is really misguided. But so many of us get tangled up in this kind of anxious overthinking, and anxiety is worrying about what's in the future. You know, depression is usually focusing on what's hurt us in the past. And I feel like your person suffers from both. We have the moon here as well, and the moon is also a representation of fear, uncertainty, disillusionment. But what's really interesting about these cards is that your person is actually very intuitive. And this is what makes it actually a bit more challenging for them, because they find it very difficult to discern between an intuitive hit, i.e., you know, be cautious here, and a very genuine, just fearful assumption. So, you know, to be able to listen to our gut, we have to be able to discern between what is a real kind of warning sign from our gut, and what is just an overthinking fear that's come from the mind. And this is where your person struggles. They have felt very limited in their ability to take action and communicate with you. This person's not very comfortable with authenticity. They really struggle to express themselves. I'm hearing that you are a gifted communicator. You know, you're very much an open book, even though you do have fearful anxiety as well. You know, you are at least open to discussing how you feel, and you're a bit more capable when it comes to really articulating, you know, what your feelings are. This person struggles with that, and they also struggle to take the lead. You know, they don't feel very strong and masculine at the moment in their life. They feel quite emasculated, is what I'm hearing. You know, they feel like their life is out of balance and out of control. And so this all has a dramatic impact on their confidence and how they perceive relationships. Now, when the Judgment and the Moon card comes up, you know, we've got so many cards here that represent intuition, and we even have meditation, dig deep, with all of these beautiful amethyst stones and this little dog here, you know, digging a hole. And this person does have access to their higher consciousness. They've always been by nature very, very intuitive. There's lots of cards here that indicate that. But as I said, they don't know how to discern between fear and delusion and what is a genuine intuitive hit. And so this is a real struggle for them. I'm hearing with this Air Magic card that they've been really trying very hard to write their feelings down, to prepare a letter for you, perhaps a message, or to have a conversation with you. They're kind of going round and round in circles with this in their head, trying to figure out what the next step is. There are so many cards here that refer to listening to wisdom. We've actually got this card here which specifically references that. We've got the moon again in this meditation card, and the eagle and the falcon, both birds of prey. They are both representations of messengers of spirit. You know, they're all about high perspective and trying to see the bigger picture. So this person really is trying their hardest to try and feel their way through this. And I do feel that they notice a very spiritual connection with you. You know, they dream about you. It's like they have these conversations with you in their head, and they're really intrigued by this. They find it really interesting that you have such a profoundly deep connection, but it's also very, very intimidating for them. Now, we've also got the Queen of Cups here, and that combined with the Ace of Cups, these are such loving energies. You know, your person really does have very big feelings. And we've got the Emperor here as well, which is that divine masculine energy. So it feels to me like your person is probably aware of the spiritual nature of this connection. Perhaps you've discussed it with them, but I'm feeling that they struggle to kind of reciprocate in conversation about this specific matter, because they get really intimidated by what it means. you know, the idea that this is an eternal connection, they find very limiting, and it makes them feel like they're a little bit out of control. And this person's life already feels out of control. And so the ego is always very much trying to kind of ground them in some kind of reassuring or comfortable energy, which for them is the sensation of having control. There's definitely karma at play in this person's life. I feel like it's past karma. I don't feel they're in a relationship now, but they're still struggling with the energies that presented from that connection. And again, this also feeds into a lot of their fears. It does feel like this person's been burned quite badly, and so they don't always know, you know, how to be open again. They've been shut down for quite a long time. And again, they're clarifying that this is the polar opposite to who you are. You know, you're very comfortable allowing your feelings to be expressed. They really, really struggle with that. This person may be a writer by nature, or by trade, sorry. You know, they may actually have a career in writing, but they don't necessarily write about their personal feelings, and that's where they struggle. They can be very logical, very pragmatic, but they very much struggle when it comes to expressing themselves. The peacock is also another symbol of ego. So, you know, when this comes up, it really does demonstrate how fragile your person's ego is and how hard they are trying to impress you. And this also inhibits them from being really honest. You know, they may have left out a lot of details around their career. They may have given you the perception that they're more successful than they are. You know, this is someone that's very afraid to reveal the truth of who they are because they're so worried about being judged. But there is a lot of love here, and I'm hearing they feel somewhat out of control with that. You know, it panics them, the intensity of this connection, and they're really not sure what's real and what isn't in this instance. I do also, with this hunter energy, you know, get the feeling that they do want to come after you, but I want to show you this close up. This is a number 9 energy, and number 9 is associated with the energy of the hermit, the power of solitude, and we see here this dark horse charging into the light. But this is yellow light, and yellow light represents the solar plexus, which is our primary trigger center. So, you know, even though they have this impulse to take control of this situation, to come towards you, I'm hearing they don't want to listen to you. Sorry, they don't want to lose you. And they're very fearful that you're going to move on with someone else. But every time they try and come towards you, they're very triggered by the intensity of this connection. Now, as well as the Ace of Cups, we've got the Vessel as well. And again, we see this glow of orange and all of this shadow emanating from it. And I'm getting quite a sexual energy from this card. It just feels like they hold so much passion for this connection. And again, you know, we've got a lot of orange showing up here, that triggering energy as well coming through again. But they have a lot of passion, and I'm feeling a lot of shame and fear around that. It feels like they perceive you as much more experienced than them, and that they don't necessarily recognize their own power and potential. So they really do feel quite convinced that you're going to go off and find someone better. And this also kind of inhibits them from, you know, really stepping into this connection. Now, I feel like you guys haven't actually known each other that long, so things are still fairly fresh. But you've both been triggered to grow as a result of this connection, and you're both kind of feeling into it in ways which you haven't experienced in other connections. And again, they find this quite intimidating. But you know, the snake energy is all about transformation as well, and shedding skin is represented as the Ouroboros here, which reminds of the cyclic nature of this connection. And you know, what they're saying is we will keep going round in circles, this back and forward and dynamic that you're both kind of stuck in with one another has persisted because neither of you are really kind of working towards resolving the lessons that are being presented. Now, there's a lot of confusion here on both sides of the fence is what they're saying, and they're explaining that, let me just get this right. Yeah, they're explaining that the goal here is to bring this back into balance and to be able to speak truthfully. And this has been a challenge for you in all of your relationships. Each of you is also being triggered to wake up, and that can lead to a lot more anxiety, a lot more fear, because when your awareness expands, it can feel like sensory overload. And learning to trust those downloads, transmissions and intuitive hits that you receive is quite challenging. And we've got human myth here, and I feel this is where your person kind of gets tangled up with it, because they don't know if they even believe in spiritual matters, and yet there's been some undeniable shifts and changes in their life within this connection since they've met you. So they're kind of leaning towards, well, you know, this must be the case, but I really don't know, you know, what's real and what isn't. They do feel like you are home. You know, we've got this home sweet home here. This is a number 64, which reduces to number 10, the energy of completion. You complete them. And when they feel calm and at ease in your company, and there's those beautiful moments where the magic just flows so beautifully and you're both at peace, they just feel so balanced, so calm and so comfortable, and like everything is meant to be as it is. The problem is that the closer they get, the more they're triggered. And so you get this push and pull dynamic. They are a bit of a flirt, and they're reminding you that even though it appears that they have this kind of player energy, you know, with the King of Wands in reverse, a lot of that is about machismo. It's not really who they are. You know, they're not really a player, even though they seem very cocky, very charismatic, and it may appear that way. I'm just grabbing some more message cards as I go, bear with me. So yeah, this person cares very much. They're feeling the love. They feel it very, very deep. They know that this is a very spiritual and magical connection, and they desire to take control. But their desire to take control defies what this connection is about. They may have recently started meditation or yoga or something along those lines. And for those of you looking for signs, there are a lot of birds coming through in this reading for you. You've got the dove, you've got the eagle, the peacock, the goshawk, a raven coming through here. You know, a tremendous amount of bird energy coming through. You've also got a mermaid, a dragon, and lots of mushrooms as well showing up for you. We've also got the unicorn and the horse. So all of these energies are quite magical. You know, they're all very magical, very spiritual energies that are coming through. And I really think your person's feeling that and is very excited by it. You know, as I said, they may not know what to do with these energies or how to trust them yet, but they are very excited. This is the most interesting liaison with another person they've had in a long while, and they really can't get you out of their mind. And I'm hearing that they have tried. Now, for some of you, your person may be struggling in a very practical sense with the stability of their home life right now. They could be moving house, perhaps their home is at risk or something along those lines, but they do feel somewhat displaced, and this also causes them to pull back because they're quite anxious. They kind of get tangled up in their own fears, and sometimes they withdraw and step into that very hermity energy. But for sure, this person isn't as comfortable kind of looking at themselves as you are, and so they don't necessarily recognize their own anxious state. They don't recognize that there's a need to kind of make adjustments here. Let's see what else they want to say. We've got the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Six of Cups, the Sun in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Four of Pentacles, the Lovers in reverse, the Ten of Wands, the High Priestess, so many spiritual energies here, and the Hermit. So we've already identified that kind of withdrawn, you know, need to be alone energy about them. When the Ace of Wands comes up in reverse, and it's clarified by the Four of Pentacles, whilst this person is very sexually motivated by you in this connection, they're also very fearful of the bonding energy that is created by the act. And so you may have felt them withdraw at a physical level. You know, they may be less inclined to engage with you physically because that's such an intensely bonding experience. And again here, you know, we saw all of this sexual energy surrounded by shadow and connecting to this vessel, which was that Ace of Cups energy. You know, it's really triggering their heart space, and that again makes them feel out of control. They know that you're soulmates. They feel like they've always known you. Now, I do feel like you guys haven't known each other that long in real terms, but for some of you, this may be a childhood connection, someone you've known from school or something like that. But there is a sense of deep familiarity here, regardless of your past. But when the Lovers comes up in reverse, you know, at the moment, they don't want to make a choice. They don't know what choice to make. And that may sound contradictory, because you think, well, if they care about me and they're feeling all of this love and passion, why wouldn't they want to make a choice? But as I said, this person's not in a good place. When the sun comes up in reverse, this is someone that's not really able to take that leap of faith, you know, from a confident space. They're always kind of weighing up the risk here, and they're very burdened by their own negative state of mind. Again, the Nine of Pentacles shows up in reverse. We already said that they may have issues in and around the home life, but when the Nine of Pentacles comes up in reverse, this can also indicate financial problems in general. You know, their material world is currently out of balance, and I'm hearing that you are quite accomplished. You may be a light worker. Even if you're not necessarily wealthy, it's like you've got some kind of energy of stability or comfort in your life. And they're also very intimidated by your intuition. Often you will say something, they'll think, how did you know that? Or you'll reach out at really synchronistic times. And so, you know, they feel very triggered by your power and your greatness, but they don't know how to let this connection go, even though they also don't know how to move it forward. And so they stay stuck in this limbo state. Now, in truth, with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, this person has no plans to move this forward right now. They are in this hermit energy. You know, they're trying to figure things out for themselves. And you can see that apart from the Six of Cups, which features 2 children, all of the energy here is very individual focused. You know, there's one person in these cards. And so they really need to kind of focus on bringing their life back into stability. And sorry, something else just came through there. And it's about figuring themselves out. And that's actually a really positive sign. You know, they don't know how to do that. They're still not seeing the means and methods of kind of getting what they want out of this, but you have kind of triggered this awareness that their life is very much out of balance. So even though they have no plans and they're really not sure how to move this forward, they are at least very, very grateful that you have inspired these prospective changes in them. Now let's get some message cards here as well. So these are just blank cards that I have written on. What does their higher self want to say? You have been hurt so much that you project your toxic expectations onto me. Stop focusing on my growth and concentrate on your own. You have no idea how messed up I am. I am under no obligation to make sense to you, and you've got me wrong. I do care, I just don't know how to show you that. Now, I'm going to use these as well. This is the White Rose Guidance Divine Love Messages deck. If you've not checked out her channel, please do. I'll link down below. She's absolutely amazing. She's got 2 channels now, in fact. She's a brilliant tarot reader. I absolutely adore her. You're the only person in the world who really scares me. You're like my long-lost best friend, and that's what we saw with that 6 of Cups energy. Can we just kiss all night? Oh, that's so cute. Can you handle all of my scars? So we meet again, my dear friend, through space and across time. So you have been hurt so much that you project your toxic expectations onto me. Now, when we've had negative experiences or traumatic experiences in relationships, of course, we become hyper vigilant in terms of what's coming next in future relationships. And even though logically we know that we can't judge, you know, a new person by the behaviors of our ex, our subconscious, which is just trying to protect us, has already created a ton of warning signs which will trigger you every time the experience is even vaguely resembling your previous traumatic ones. And so, you know, I think you may have accused this person of playing games with you. You know, you may have accused them of being narcissistic or of being cruel. And in truth, you know, they've not actually done anything bad here. They've just, you know, they've not been ready to move forward with you. They want to spend time with you. They would very much like to kind of take this more slowly and maybe focus on a more casual, platonic arrangement. But, you know, they're trying to reinforce that Their inability to make a decision about their future right now isn't personal, and it may look like they're terribly indecisive and that they're messing you around and blowing hot and cold, but it really does come from a sincere place. They're not being malicious, they're not trying to play games, and they're asking you to be aware of how your previous experiences have shaped your perception of this relationship. You are the only person in the world that really scares them, and that's actually a really big compliment, because if they didn't feel anything for you, it would be really easy for them to show up in your zone of awareness and give this a whirl. You know, the fact that they are finding it so triggering and so challenging really demonstrates how much they care. You know, if we don't care, it's easy. It's when there's fear involved that it becomes really challenging. And it says, stop focusing on my growth and concentrate on your own. Now, you've already inspired a lot of growth in this person, but they're saying that you are overly focused on managing their energy, healing them, clearing them, sending them love and light, you know, and you really need to focus on yourself. They're asking you to remember that when you focus on them too much, this is an avoidance of self. You know, it's running from self, and that creates more push-pull energy in this dynamic because you're chasing them. You're running away from yourself and you're chasing them. And so they're asking you to run back toward yourself and to trust that they will grow in their own time. That when you're focused on their growth, you're only delaying your own, and that slows everything down. And there is an energy of impatience here, which they're saying you also need to learn how to quell, because it doesn't serve you. You know, you can't make this connection move any more quickly than it is. Each of you is an individual who has every right to take your time in terms of making the decisions you want. So if you don't want to wait around for this person, that's fine, you know, but you need to accept that they're not ready, rather than keep pressing them to make a decision or, you know, throwing ultimatums out. This energy has come through a lot in my readings lately, this energy of applying pressure. Hurry up, I want to move forward. Why aren't you making a decision? Why can't you commit? And it's really important to recognize that not everyone moves at the same pace. Lots of people are really measured in love. They will date someone for weeks or months before they really decide to move into something committed. And some people need to get to know someone, and they have very fixed and what I would actually describe as fairly healthy boundaries. They don't want to rush into things and then find this wasn't right for them. You know, they're a lot more guarded with their heart, and they just want to take their time getting to know you. And you're a bit more impulsive, you know, you're more of a risk taker than them, and that's okay. But you've got to understand and accept that not everyone is like you, not everyone is as comfortable taking those risks. This person does feel that deep connection with you. You know, they love how intellectual you are. They love the conversations you can have and the way you can both philosophize together. And they really do see you as one of the closest and loveliest friends they've had. They're so grateful to have met you and to have you in their life. You have no idea how messed up I am. You know, I do think this person isn't real with you about the darker energies that they're moving through right now in their life. I think they put a brave face on it. They try really hard to show up in a charismatic, fun way. And when they're not feeling good, they'll just kind of, you know, disappear quietly and not show themselves to the world. And this isn't just about you. They do this in all groups and acquaintances and friendships and relationships. You know, this is someone that needs a lot of solitude and likes to go away and lick their wounds in private. So they're very focused on wearing a mask and showing the world this is who I am, and it's not always crystal clear. You know, because quite often there's a lot of shadow aspects underneath the surface that they're not comfortable talking about because it makes them feel vulnerable. I'm under no obligation to make sense to you. Now, if you don't understand why they've made the decisions that they have, you know, that's okay. We're not entitled to an explanation from anybody. When someone says, look, I'm just not ready right now, it's not personal, but I need to focus on me, that's all the explanation we need to offer. And this is for you as well. You know, if someone is propositioning you, asking you to help them or something else, and you say, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that right now, or I can't do this right now. You don't owe anyone an explanation or justification, and you keep pressing this person for more information because you simply don't understand their perspective. But you know, they are feeling a little bit irritated by this energy, and they're not sure that you can handle all their scars, and this is why they're inhibited when it comes to discussing it with you, because they, you know, they don't know if you will judge them, they don't know how you're going to react or respond to it, and they don't even know how to express it. And again, I feel like they are trying to figure that out because they know that this bothers you and they want to kind of resolve that, but they're also feeling a little bit indignant that they're under pressure to do so. So it may really help you to kind of just step back and, you know, lean back, not apply so much pressure in that respect. You've got me wrong. I do care. I just don't know how to show you that. And we've got two energies here about being a dear friend and a best friend. You know, they do care very much. And this isn't just a sexual liaison for them. You know, you may think because they come in and out and they're all hot and passionate and they vanish again, that they're just using you. But actually, you know, they do try and hold back physically because it's so intense to them anyway, but they do actually care very much. And again, this is what makes it so challenging. But they're reminding you of the eternal nature of this connection. We will always meet again through space and across time, and that's really acknowledging, you know, the divinity in this connection. They're really recognizing that you kind of feel always with them. It's like you're always in their present, even when you're not physically there. They can't move 1 inch without bumping into some kind of thought of you. So they are very attached to you. They are feeling all of the love flow between you. But this is someone that needs to take their time and is also at a very challenging stage in their life where they don't necessarily, pardon me, feel worthy enough to kind of flow with this energy right now. So let's get some guidance cards for you as well. What cards should we get? I'm going to go with some more of these everyday witch oracle cards. And we have affirmation for positive change, meditation for peace and serenity. So 2 cards connected to meditation there. And prosperity and abundance. There's 2 black cats here and another dog. You've also got the turtle, crab and lots of fish for those of you that are looking for signs. And what other cards shall we get? I'm going to get some more animal cards. We've got the crow, the unicorn, the panther. So you've had 2 unicorns, 2 crows, so that might be a raven, and the moth. And from the starseed cards, we've got Earth Guide, meditation, so that's come up 3 times for you, and stillness. And let's get some crystal energies for you as well before I pull out the charms. I'm really into this crystal deck at the moment. This is just to give you a heads up as to what crystals you could be working with. And there's no right or wrong way to work with crystals. You can put them in a grid like this. And the purpose of a grid is to kind of amplify the energy and spread it out into the space. So it's a very powerful ritualistic tool to focus your intention and to help, you know, generate more of the energy you need. But you can also just, you know, wear crystals as jewelry, like these ones on my wrist. You can just pop a stone in your bra or in your pocket, or sleep with it in your bed, under your bed. Some of them you can bathe with. And all crystals like water, so make sure you check that on Google before you put them in the bath. Let's see what's coming up for you. Okay, selenite, blue lace agate, and red jade. So I think I have most of those. I'll show you what they look like in a minute and bring these cards up for you to see. Let's get some charms as well. Just give them a shake. They're all mixed up. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So we have got the 2 swords or knives. We've got the Instagram camera. We've got I'm trying and that's enough. We've got the FU, the Scrabble numbers. We've got the cactus, and we have is Mercury in retrograde. Now I'm pretty sure that at the time of uploading, Mercury is not in retrograde, but if you're watching this later, it might be worth checking that. But Mercury is the planet of communication, and when it's in retrograde, communication can be extra challenging. So the fact that this has come up suggests to me that, you know, communication right now is a struggle, because each of you isn't entirely comfortable with authenticity. Now, we've got meditation come through for you significantly twice in the cards that refer to guidance for you specifically, and it's asking you to affirm positive change, to move yourself towards calmer waters. Your ship will come in, but this is about, you know, I'm really drawn to how her dress and her jewelry is hung up here, and she's kind of in these casual clothes. You know, you are also wearing masks. They don't see who you really are either. I know you're a lot more open than them, but you're still very much focused on making a good impression. You know, they haven't seen all of you, and you're very restrained when it comes to being frustrated. You try really hard to bite your tongue, and because you don't want them to see that more highly strung version of yourself. But when it comes up as affirmation for positive change, it's reminding you of your power to manifest. And it's reminding you that what we think and what we believe is what becomes. So if you keep assuming the worst, you're going to keep getting the worst. This is asking you to affirm for positive change, to trust that your boat can come in and that you can get what you want from this situation. Meditation for peace and serenity. And we can see here that they are deep in the water, which means really getting into their feelings. We've got more Cancer energy here with the crab. And remember, when you're in meditation, your mind is at its most suggestive. So all of those positive affirmations are going to literally start working at several million times the pace. You really need to get into a meditative practice. It's indicated here again, it says meditation. Take a moment to connect to source through quiet, reflective meditation. This is where you access stillness. This is where you access all the inner guidance you need. And again, you know, when you start manifesting, it says here prosperity and abundance. But in both cases here, they're navigating the energy of emotion. And this is about learning to take control of your emotional body, because at the moment it just runs roughshod over you, and you are not your feelings. Your feelings are created by your thoughts. So when you start meditating and learning how to bring all of your bodies, you know, which is emotional body, mental body, physical body, spiritual body, when you learn how to bring them into alignment, into stillness, you know, that's when you're going to start achieving all of the prosperity, abundance, and everything you need and want is going to start flowing to you. The crow has come up again. You know, this is another magical symbol of transformation, as is the moth. This is about metamorphosis, and it's reminding you that the goal of this connection is for each of you to find and step into a much higher state of awareness. You know, to learn who you really are. You are not a human being. You are a soul having a human experience. And the body that you're in is just a vessel that carries you through this experience. There is a message there as well about respecting your body and treating it with more kindness. The unicorn is a very magical creature. It's come through twice for you in this reading, and it reminds you of your power, your magical nature, and how much you're capable of. And the panther, very similar to the hunter energy, is a predator. You know, but there's a lot of shadow aspects here with those green eyes, the energy of the heart chakra. And this is saying the thing that you need to be going after with the most focused determination and intention is healing your heart. And again, with the moth here, all of that green energy. You know, when you start bringing your heart space into balance, you start presenting a much more healthy energy within this connection. And again, stillness. Connecting back to that meditation. Reflect on this moment with love and kindness and compassion. Earth guide, your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. But to be loved, you have to give yourself love first. We can't give or receive something that we don't already have when it comes to energy. You know, that's to say that you can only meet someone as far as they've met themselves. If someone doesn't love themselves, no matter how hard you try, you're going to really struggle to convince them that they're lovable. You know, and that you love them. Someone's never going to be secure in your love if they don't already value and love themselves. They'll always question it. They'll always doubt it. And you're both in this energy. This is something that both of you need to transmute. No decisions need to be made right now. It's okay to be indecisive. You've got to stop being so offended and triggered by the idea that people don't know what they want. Just because you're so determined and you know what you want doesn't mean everyone else functions that way. It's okay not to know what you want. And this Instagram picture, this person's constantly looking at you. You know, they really are constantly obsessing about you and looking at you. And we've got, I'm trying and that's enough. You know, they're really trying in this connection in all the ways which they know how. And, you know, they just want you to understand that it's not personal. It's not personal that they're not able to make a decision right now. This might be a funny reference for Scrabble. Maybe Scrabble's a sign for you guys. But, you know, the FU here is surrounded by all of these roses. It's such a kind of contradictory energy. And I feel this really reveals how frustrated they get. You know, on the one hand, they adore you, but they also find your behaviours and how you're showing up in this connection really challenging. And it's the communication specifically, and you pressing them to express themselves, to give you answers, to give you decisions, to give you information. And this is why they get defensive. You know, we've got the cactus here, which is a very prickly energy. And I want you to think about how the cactus functions. It doesn't need water. It doesn't need emotion. Water represents the emotional body. And so, you know, they're saying, I don't need all of this overflow of emotion like you do. It's just unnecessary and it's intense and it's overwhelming. Can we please calm this down? You know, you can't make your emotions this person's responsibility. Now, I'm just going to get some of these crystals so you can see them. Right, I can't find red jade and I can't find blue lace agate, but this is selenite. It's otherwise known as gypsum. It's a really kind of shiny stone, and this is very cheap and very accessible. I'm going to bring this up close to the screen so you can pause the video and read it, and you can see here it's referencing cleansing and protection specifically, and the Taurus moon. Blue lace agate is for peace, gentleness and new beginnings, and we've got Gemini, Pisces and Mercury. Bearing in mind that the blue colour is related to the throat and communication, and this being a problem here, and it's saying peace and gentility, and also it being represented by Mercury seems very appropriate. Remember, Gemini and Pisces are two very conflicting energies. Gemini is all of the mind and Pisces is all of the emotions. And so I feel this is about finding balance here for you. Just bringing that up again so you can pause and read. And then we've got red jasper, warrior, individuality and chi. You know, this is helping you release anger and find constructive ways to solve problems. And this is Aries and Venus. So very powerful energies there for you. I'm going to take this over to the extended now, part one. We're going to be going deeper with these messages, getting more message cards for your person, more information about what you can expect next, what their intentions are, and so we can bring through some guidance in terms of how you can handle that. So if this resonated for you, you can find the link for the extended in the description box below. But thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you being here with me. It's always such a pleasure to read for you. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. I love to read your feedback. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you so much to the very, very generous souls that watch my commercials. 1 minute of your time for one of these videos is such a perfect energy exchange, and it really does help me so much. I get a tiny bit of revenue for every 1,000 people that watch 1 minute of my advert. So if you're one of those 1,000 people that do that, I just want to thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it, and it really helps my channel to keep going. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye. Hello part 2, welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Modern Witch Tarot, this piece of phosphorite, and we are asking today, what does your person want to say to you? These are the messages from your person's higher self, the messages you need the most to help you receive the clarity and understanding that you need. So take a nice long deep breath for me and hold your person in mind. And these are the messages that maybe they can't feel safe saying to your face. Maybe you guys aren't in touch, but we're going to get all of the details for you today. We're going to go really in depth. We're going to use oracle cards, message cards and charms. So take a nice long deep breath, hold your person in mind, ask for a sign if that feels good to you. And a sign can be anything at all. It could be a flower, a colour, numbers, a phrase, a symbol, a name, an object, an animal, anything that feels good to you. And that just gives the universe an opportunity to really validate your message. And you may notice your signs outside of this reading as well. You know, they might appear in other areas of your life and your experience. So let's give these a really good shuffle. Now, this little grid you're seeing here, if you are seeing this video as it was uploaded or within the first few hours of the upload, you might have a chance to buy this. I'm selling them tonight. These are crystals from my own collection, which I'm trying to thin out somewhat. So I've got 3 of these, but if you're late to watching this video, you may have already missed the boat. I'll be selling them live on Instagram tonight. If you would like to know how you can be in with a chance of claiming one of these, all the instructions are on my YouTube community page today. But let's do this. One more riffle shuffle. Okay, pile 2. What does your person want to say to you? There will be an extended reading today if this resonates for you. We have got the Empress in reverse, the 4 of Swords, the Page of Swords in reverse, the 2 of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Oh, the sun is shining for you, part 2. So bright, almost need sunglasses. Okay, that's the High Priestess in reverse, the 10 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Wands in reverse, and the 2 of Wands. There is a lot of shame in this reading. I don't know why I'm putting that over there, it's too far away. Your person is very ashamed of how they've treated you. That's coming through loud and clear. Okay, from the Everyday Witch Oracle, plant the seeds, connect with Gaia, and affirmation for growth. And from Fairy Wisdom Oracle, we've got Painting Poppies, Whispers of Spring, and Magic Fish. From the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, we've got the Mouse, we've got the Sea Serpent, the Beaver, and what's next? Okay, we can go with these. The Wild Unknown Archetype deck. We have the Womb and the Crone. Okay, we'll get some more out as we go, but let's start where we are. So part 2, a lot of shame here, a lot of deep, heartfelt apology. I'm hearing your person cheated on you. This person wasn't loyal. And they're recognizing now, and I guess to your mind too late, that this was a crushing error on their part. Now, at the time that this relationship was occurring, they didn't feel like they can make a commitment to you. They weren't sure if this was the relationship they wanted. They have a lot of avoidant tendencies. This is someone who's very comfortable in the early stages of relationship when sparks are flying and it's all fun and interesting and light-hearted. But the minute it gets deep, this person pulls back, and that's exactly what happened here. You came at this connection in very distorted energy. So, you know, you were a lot more, I think, codependent than you allow yourself to recognize. This kind of caused them to pull back. It was very on and off with you is what I'm hearing. And now this person's saying, I'm so sorry. I was such a coward. I didn't know how to communicate with you. I wasn't sure how I felt. It feels like there's been a long, long gap in communication. The fact that this is a 2 of Cups relationship suggests to me it never got too deep. You know, it was in the early stages, the kind of early flourishes, and even though feelings may have been expressed and, you know, there was some suggestion towards a more long-term committed energy, it hadn't really been agreed or discussed. It feels like it was still all up in the air, and then this person went off with somebody else. It's such a painful energy. This person knows they've hurt you, and they're not trying to steal your thunder and say, well, you know, it hurts me too. It's not a competition about who got hurt the most, but they need you to understand that they really let themselves down. They know that they really let you down, that they regret this very, very much, and that they don't know how to communicate with you about this or explain it to you. There's an incredible amount of shame connected to having this conversation. They're also very fearful of how you're going to respond, and frankly they don't know if you want to communicate with them. You know, that they're worried that maybe you've had enough time to move on, to recover from this, and then if they suddenly turn up, you know, expecting to have a conversation about it, then perhaps it's going to regurgitate a lot of unpleasant feelings for you. But this person is genuinely very, very sorry. They made the decision that they really want you much too late. You know, it was only once they'd lost you that they realised how much you meant to them, how different this relationship was, and how much they probably should have given it much more time, attention, and certainly loyalty. I'm hearing that this person isn't by nature a cheat, and that the incident of them being with someone else kind of just happened. And you know what? I hate it when cheating people say that. I'm going to be honest with this, it just happened. You know, it's easy to assume things that don't just happen, but of course they do. Sometimes we get caught up in the momentum of some kind of energy, and you know, things do occur. But I think what they're really trying to communicate is that they didn't plan this. You know, that the energy of the moment really ran away with them, and by the time it had happened and they kind of realized it probably wasn't the best thing, it was already too late. So this person reflects on this situation now. They look back on it and they really regret having done that. They really regret having hurt you. They really regret having lost you. They feel like they've broken this connection beyond repair, and they quite understand why you would be reluctant to forgive them. Now, it does feel like, again, you were emotionally much more open at the beginning of this connection, but those energies weren't balanced. In this Two of Cups, we see someone stood on the ground and we see someone stood in the water. Of course, water represents the emotional body, and you know, the sand here represents the earthly body. So you may be dealing with a water sign and an air sign. But what I'm hearing is that you got the feels pretty quick. You know, this person was trying to stay a bit more measured in this, and you know, trying to ground the connection, but maybe not as forthcoming with their emotional depths. They did find, you know, your need to move quite quickly a bit overwhelming. That's not to say it's your fault that they cheated, because it absolutely isn't. But you know, you may have felt already that they were blowing a bit hot and cold in this connection before this incident happened. But you know, this person wants you to know they're sorry. They want you to know that they understand it was their loss and their mistake, and they are absolutely heartbroken that they caused you so much pain. There is a message here as well that you may be kind of at an age where your biological clock was ticking and you feel like you wasted a lot of time with this person. And so, you know, a lot of the anger and frustration you feel also emanates from that. But again, with this Empress in reverse energy and this High Priestess in reverse, you know, you maybe got a little bit too confident and comfortable in this situation because it wasn't a relationship that really got off the ground. And the pain that was created was because you were already so emotionally invested. So, you know, there is a message here as guidance for you that you've got to learn to take things a little bit easier. You know, it takes time to build trust and to figure out who someone is and what their values and expectations are in relationships. I feel like you two didn't actually get to know each other that much. It had all been so fast, like a flash in the pan, very exciting. We've got this painting poppies energy, and poppies are the energy of remembrance, you know, and this person is deeply focused on thinking about how things were between you. They're very nostalgic. You know, they would love a new beginning. They would love a new beginning, but certainly with this magic fish energy, which is actually a number 11 card, it's 47, which reduces to 11, but of course 4 is the number of the Emperor, the divine masculine, and 7 is the number of divinity. So I do think they recognize the very deep and magical emotional nature of this connection, and this is why they're reflecting on it now and feeling so very regretful. We've got the mouse energy here. They feel so small. You know, this person is realizing that they don't deserve you after the way they treated you, and they're thinking it's very unlikely that you will take them back. But with the sea serpent, which is about transformation of our emotional selves, I do think that they will probably try. You know, when the sea serpent comes up, this is someone that's reflecting on their emotional state and trying to reconfigure, you know, the truth of any given situation. The beaver is a very collaborative energy. You know, this is someone that really wants this to work. They want to communicate with you about it, but again, they're very scared about coming forward. They don't know how to say what needs to be said or how to make this okay. They don't feel that they have all of the skill to equip them with the right kind of approach. And, you know, they already know they've caused you so much pain, so they're wondering, you know, is it even worth it? Am I wasting my time? Am I going to stir up more upset for this person? So it does feel like they're really on the fence, but I do think that they will come forward. We've got the Knight of Cups here, clarified by the Two of Wands. This person has made a decision, and I'm seeing here that this lady here is clutching her phone. The Two of Wands is all about decisiveness, and we see she's got her phone out ready to send a message, and the Knight of Cups is about making an offer. So I do think you're going to hear from this person, but they're also saying to you, you know, at this stage, you probably won't want them back anyway, but if you're watching this reading, there's clearly something still there for you too. But they are asking you to be mindful of maybe we need to slow things down. It's saying plant the seeds here. Now, this is all about the energy of investment, but also patience. When we plant a seed, we have to give it time and space to grow. And you may think you're too old to wait. You know, we've got the womb and the crone, but I'm hearing that it's not. You know, affirmations for growth, which could also be connected to pregnancy, but you've got plant the seed, connect with Gaia, and affirmation for growth. This is all about turning that Empress energy upside down. Now, for some of you, you may have communicated that you want a baby. Maybe you guys actually agreed to do that, and this is why you've also felt so stabbed in the back. It's like, wow, you know, we had plans, we talked about this, everything seemed to be going in the right direction, but you know, you are being kind of guided here that there isn't as much of a rush as you think, and that patience is called for. If you're going to let this person back into your zone of awareness, if you're going to entertain another opportunity with this, then you need to be a bit more patient and allow this to move more slowly, and rightly so, because if they've cheated on you, you know, you need to build up some trust before you rush in, you know, to having babies with this person. You know, you don't want to be left high and dry again. So what else does their higher self want to say? What are the messages here? We've got the Devil in reverse, the Six of Swords, the King of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Ten of Cups. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And from the White Rose Guidance Divine Love Messages deck, volume 2. If you want this deck, you can buy it from White Rose Guidance. I'll put a link down below to her channel. She's a fabulous, fabulous reader, one of my favourites. Our connection is so beautiful, but it's also painful and confusing as hell. I know that you know I'm hiding deep feelings for you, and now I feel stuck. You're my long-lost best friend. You're the only person in the world who really scares me. And things aren't always as they seem. And we're going to use these message blanks as well that I have written on myself. You are so much better than me. You will end up leaving me. I wish I could express my love, but once I do, there is no going back. Everything you have told me has forced me to question my whole reality. I need time to integrate that. You are too good for me. I never meant to hurt you. I ran because I was scared. Really deep energies here. We're going to get some more of these cards as well. Some more of these archetype cards. The Mother, that came out in exactly the same spot for part 1. And the Vision. Okay. They're terrified of being so attached. When the devil comes up in reverse, it's all about addiction, attachment, and obsession. And, you know, when it says here, it's so beautiful, our connection is so beautiful, but it's painful and confusing, and you're so much better than me that you'll end up leaving me. So, you know, this person has a habit of running when relationships get deep anyway. They love that honeymoon stage. They love the first bit. But the moment things getting serious, you know, they're subconscious. And again, I want to clarify subconscious, because what I'm hearing is it isn't a logical decision, but their subconscious starts getting twitchy and they end up self-sabotaging. And so they kind of end up rejecting someone before they get rejected. And that's how they've kind of always operated. So even though that incident with the other person, you know, the third party, was such a tremendous betrayal, and they're saying, you know, it just kind of happened. In truth, I think it was always going to happen, because this person has that kind of self-sabotage type energy in them, and they simply can't help it. It's not even a conscious decision. They didn't know, you know, that they were really already creating distance between you and moving away from you. And it says, I know that you know I'm hiding deep feelings for you, and now I feel stuck. I wish I could express my love, but once I do, there is no going back. And so they were just so afraid of the energies running away with them. What if I change my mind? What if I express how I'm feeling and then I don't feel like this again? What if I express how I'm feeling and I end up losing or being hurt? You know, everything you've told me has forced me to question my whole reality, and I need time to integrate that. And these were spiritual matters that you discussed. And it says here, you know, you're like my long lost best friend. This person really identified a deep and familiar bond with you. You know, you just felt like soul family from day one, and you may have shared that with them. And even though they loved it and it really kind of lit them up inside, it also terrified them. 7 of Cups. You're the only person in the world who really scares me, and this is why it was so hard to choose you. You know, when we get what we want, we have to face our fears, and this person really struggled in doing that. And we see here, you are too good for me. Again, you're so much better than me. This person has a really dramatic inferiority complex. You know, once things started getting serious between you, their attitude was, you know, this isn't going to work out. People like me don't end up with people like them. You know, I'm going to end up getting hurt here. This person's way too good with me. I'm punching well above my weight category. You know, so they were really worried anyway. But look at that. You've got 10 of Cups energy here. Things aren't always as they seem. This person did really want that same future energy of family and children as you did. They never meant to hurt you. You know, they ran away because I was scared. And they're saying to you here, again, with the mother and the vision, hold your vision. Now you've got a lot of cat energy showing up for you here. You've got mouse, snake, fish, beaver, owls in this one. And there's another snake here in the mother nest, and some pearls. Flowers, you've got roses, poppies. I believe there's lavender in there. I'm not sure what these flowers are because it doesn't say. But, you know, lots of signs there for you guys. But the mother, hold your vision. This person does want the same thing as you. And so I guess what you've got to decide now, pile 2, this person's going to come back towards you. They're going to make an offer. They're going to get in touch. They're going to express the regret. You've got to decide if you want to try again. So let's get some more cards. What else does this person want to say? I'm going to get some of these. This is the Everyday Witch Oracle. More poppies here, joy and delight. And that's a different deck. Poppies have come through for you twice. Rebirth and reinvention. There's more cats, dolphins, and little tiny baby turtles here. Tears of joy and sadness. And let's get some more of these fairy cards. Magic frog, fire dance, caffeine, and jewel of the sea. I want to get some more animals as well. What else does this person want to say? We've got lizard, another snake, the eagle, and the horse. Lots of mermaids coming through here for you guys. You can get some more message cards as well. This is the White Rose Guidance, Divine Love Messages, Volume 1. I'm bleeding, but you can't see blood. You are the song of my heart. I'm so sorry for not giving you the time and attention you deserve. I think this person, this is so hard. It's such a hard message to communicate, because I've been cheated on and I chose not to forgive that person. And personally, I wouldn't put myself in that situation again. But that was a very long-term committed relationship I was in. I'm just trying to feel into this guidance. Obviously the message is for you, but it's filtered through my consciousness, my feelings, my own experience, and it's not sitting comfortably with me. Because I think you have to decide for yourself. You know better than me what this situation is, but you know, this person's saying, I just want to have fun with you again. I want to create and grow something new. I really want to try again. You know, we've got rebirth and reinvention here. We've got the snake, that symbol of change and creation. You know, tears of joy and sadness. They want to work through this with you. They want to try and help satisfy all of the fears and, of course, the lack of trust that would have been created by their behaviours. They are saying, you know, we can do this. There is a huge spark in this connection that I'm now identifying with the magical nature of it. I've now got a higher perspective, and I would really like to try and make this happen. I understand that you're going to be defensive and prickly, and I'm prepared to kind of prove to you that I'm not the frog. You know, that I can be the prince, that I can turn into the prince that you've been after. I think they understand that, you know, you're going to struggle with trust, but this person really does have this vision of joy. You know, we've got rebirth and reinvention. You know, they want to get into the emotional depths with this. They recognize if they can do that, then they can start generating more joyful energies between you, and they are prepared to look in the mirror and take a long, hard look at themselves. Now, I'm not sure what the caffeine card is meant to mean. It's such a weird label for a card. This is number 41, which adds up to 5, the energy of transformation. But I'm just going to get the book here and see what message caffeine is meant to impart. The key word is motivation. Okay, that makes sense, I guess, because it gives us a boost, doesn't it? Fairies naturally trust in their connection to spirit. It is second nature to them. They find life exciting, always ready for a challenge. Do you need a boost to stimulate your interest in life, or are you a self-starter? If you're dependent on others to motivate you, then you're not connecting with your own inner self. Okay, so I think this is what they're seeing now. They're recognizing how they used other people in their zone of awareness as a crutch to help them feel better about themselves. And perhaps this is why they were in that kind of Casanova charming energy in the first place, that they were just really massaging their own ego. But they do have a highest perspective now. You know, they are seeing you as this treasure. It says here, jewel of the sea. And the sea, obviously, is another metaphor for the emotional body. Water always represents the emotional body. And so for me, I'm interpreting this as the jewel of their heart. Now, the horse is such a powerful creature, you know, and I think they're saying, let me carry you through this. You know, let me help you heal from this. Let's heal together. Let's look at this situation together. You know, you are the song of my heart, and I'm so sorry for not having given you the time and attention. But they're reminding you they've had a lot of pain in their past that led up to these very distorted behaviours. They're reminding you that everyone makes mistakes and that they really want to make this better. They want to try and explain to you who they are and what led up to these behaviours, so they can reassure you of their ability to transform and, you know, be involved in something more committed. But let's see what the guidance is. We're going to pull guidance cards. Obviously, this is both from their higher self, you know, and your higher self. What's the guidance here for pile 2? What does this person want to say? We're going to get the charms as well. 7 of Wands in reverse. I'm hearing, please unblock me. Judgment. King of Swords in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. 5 of Swords. And I'm going to get some more of these. The Everyday Witch Oracle. we have got ground and center. So lots of messages about Earth coming through for you today. Make a move. Meditation for creativity and listening to wisdom. From the Starseed cards. We've got surrender, advancement, and release. I'm sorry if that beeping. That's my washing machine that's finished its cycle, and for some reason it beeps when it does that, which can be quite helpful but also very annoying when you can't get to it. Right, so I'm going to get some crystal cards for you as well for guidance, because I think it's really useful to know what crystals you can be working with to best support your healing and forward drive. Now, you know, there's no right or wrong way to use crystals. You can put them in a grid like this, and a grid is designed to spread the energies out into the room. You know, it focuses your intention as well. They're often used in witchcraft or magic, but from a healing perspective, you know, the crystals I've chosen here and the way the points are positioned are designed so that this energy emanates outwards. You can also turn the points inwards, which will charge the crystals in the center point. So you can use them like that. You can wear them as jewelry like I am on my wrist. You can pop a stone in your bra or in your pocket, or sleep with a stone. Some stones are suitable for bathing with, but do Google before you put them in water, because not all of them are. But let's go. What are we getting for you here? Turquoise, obsidian, and labradorite. Now, I don't have any turquoise. Do you know what? Turquoise is actually a really rare stone these days. There is a lot of fake turquoise on the market, which is why I haven't purchased any in a long time, because I don't want to buy it online and I haven't seen it at my local dealers. But if you're going to buy turquoise, look online about how to identify real turquoise. And I think one of the best ways is literally to hold it and see it up close. But you know, if you're going to get turquoise, just make sure you buy it carefully from a trusted dealer. Peace, tranquility, and patience. Please, you can pause the video so you can read this. This is the energy of Scorpio, Sagittarius, Pisces in Jupiter, Venus, and Neptune. Obsidian and labradorite I do have. I'm going to show those to you. I thought someone had stolen my labradorite heart. Then my children are always walking off with my crystals. This is obsidian. You can see it's a very simple, plain black stone, really easy to find, very protective stone. It says here, shadows, mirror, and amorphous. I wouldn't wear obsidian on my body. I've got to be honest with you. It's a very, very, I'd say it's a strong energy. I personally feel uncomfortable with it very close to me. I do work with it, but just a heads up there. And the labradorite, this is a really beautiful one with some flashes. This is a very accessible stone. This helps align your aura. It helps to protect you. And it says here, transformation, magic, and imagination. Again, you can pause the video and read that thoroughly. We've got Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Neptune, and Jupiter. So those are the crystals you need, but let's go ahead with the guidance that's come through the cards from your person. 7 of Wands. This person's saying, please unblock me. If you have put major barriers up, or, you know, moved away from this person away, which means it's difficult to reach you, and you want to entertain their presence and the conversation they're coming forward with, then you need to create space for that to happen. You know, it does. The 7 of Wands is all about releasing barriers, about letting your guard down and being open to what's coming through. And it does say here, surrender. Surrender your need to control the outcome. Just be with life in the present moment, ground and center. So for me, this is strongly encouraging you to listen before making a decision. I'm really sorry, but I've got to go and turn that beeping off. Let me just pause. Whew, that's done. Sorry, that was really annoying me. So where were we? Yeah, you're being asked to just allow yourself maybe to be present with that conversation. This person knows you're going to judge them, and they're prepared to receive your judgment. You know, they are going to make a move. You've got otter energy here, lots of fish and a cat again. We can see here that you're both making magic, but in the same space with your backs to one another. And I think this is what it's saying, that, you know, opening up a conversation doesn't mean that you have to remain present with this person. You know, you can have a conversation and then decide how you want to judge that before moving forward. We've also got advancement here. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the stirrings of your heart. You've got to trust your own intuition here, pile 2. King of Swords in reverse. This is going to guard you against being too harsh. Yes, this person deserves to hear how they've disappointed you, but don't turn it into a mudslinging match. You know, being aggressive or inflammatory is really unnecessary. You're being guided to listen. By all means, express your hurt and your disappointment, but to do so from a place of peace and equanimity. You're being asked to recognize that, you know, coming in at this with a very aggressive or confrontation energy isn't going to support the energies that are right for you here. And we do have a suggestion of conflict, you know. You don't have to rush back into anything with this person. When the Ace of Wands is coming up in reverse, you know, this is about saying, A, you don't have to be involved physically. You know, you can trust your own decision on that if you feel the need to step back. But also that just because you're entertaining the conversation doesn't mean you have to take the bait. You know, conflict is indicated here, so listen to your wisdom and maybe look at this from a really creative perspective. Try and channel your anger into something positive. You've also got release here. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. So, you know, I don't want to tell you what you should or shouldn't do here, pile 2, but it certainly looks to me like, you know, this person's hurt you. They've not been true to you. They've betrayed you, and they're going to come in and they're going to ask for another go. And you have to dig deep and decide if that's what meant for you. This person does regret it, and I believe them. I do think they have fairly honourable intentions. I don't think they, you know, deliberately hurt you. And I do think they're being very sincere in their regret, apology, and desire to resolve it. But you have to make a decision that's right for you and that you're comfortable moving forward with. Now, I'm going to take this over to the extended now. So if this has resonated for you, you can join me over there. We're obviously going to go a lot deeper with thoughts, feelings, intentions. We're going to get more messages from them and more guidance. If you would like to join me there, the link is in the description box below. But thank you so much for joining me here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you so much for your beautiful comments and your feedback. I appreciate it so much. And a very, very special thanks to the very kind and generous souls that take the time to watch one of my commercials. I receive a tiny amount of revenue for every 1,000 clicks or 1 minute watches of those adverts. It really helps keep my channel ticking over and helps it to grow. It's such a perfect energy exchange because it's just a minute of your time for one of these readings. And I really do appreciate that so much. So thank you so much for those of you that do take the time to do that. I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Friends Tarot and the Lemurian Quartz. And we are asking today, what does your person want to say to you? These are the messages from your person's higher self. These are the things they need to say to you the most. Perhaps they're afraid to say these things. Maybe you guys aren't in communication. We're going to get all the details and go really in depth. We're going to use oracle cards. We're going to use charms and the message cards as well. I forgot to get charms for pile 2. Never mind, it obviously wasn't meant to be, but pile 3, I will remember them for you. There will be an extended today as well. So whilst I'm shuffling, take a nice long deep breath. Give yourself a moment to hold your person in mind, to make that connection, to ask their higher self for the messages you need the most, the clarity that you need to help you understand and move forward for the highest good of both of you. And you can also take a moment to ask the universe for a sign. And that can be anything at all. It could be a flower, a colour, an object, a symbol, a phrase, numbers, an animal, anything at all that works for you. And that just helps to really anchor and validate the messages that come through for you. You may notice the signs you've asked for outside of this reading as well. So, you know, that's just the universe giving you some prods and pokes and signs that you can trust. Now, remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't sound like you or your situation, then perhaps it wasn't for you, but there may still be some messages in here that are relevant to you. I'm just going to give these one more shuffle. And actually, whilst I am shuffling, this beautiful grid here is for sale. I'm actually basically trying to thin out my own collection so I can make more room for new stuff. Feed my crystal addiction, but I've got 3 of these, and I've just put together some cheaper grids as well, some kind of smaller, more accessible, affordable grids, and some other bits and pieces from my own collection. And I'm going to do a live sale on Instagram. If you would like all the details and the instructions, you can find that on my YouTube community page. Make sure you read the instructions before you turn up at the live sale, because I won't have time to explain it to you in the moment, but it's all the deets from my community page. So if you would like to purchase one of my grids from my own very own personal collection of stones, you can get all of the information. Hopefully I'll see you there. But let's do this pile 3. We have got the 4 of Swords in reverse, we've got the 4, we've got the Ace of Swords, 10 of Swords in reverse. Get one more. And the 9 of Wands. Clarifying, we've got the 3 of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Page of Wands in reverse, and Judgment. Okay, let's get some more cards. So from the Everyday Witch Oracle, we've got Listening to Wisdom. That's come out in all piles today. Learn from Life, and Joy and Delight. And from the Fairy Wisdom Oracle, we've got Lighting the Way, Hummingbird Dreams, and Moon Dragon. Okay, and from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle, we've got the Dragonfly, the Bat, the Zebra. We'll get tons more of these as we go, but I'm just going to get what's out on the table so far. We've got the Heart and the Medallion. So, pile 3, what does your person want to say to you? What are the messages from their higher self? I do think your person and you probably work together. We've got the 3 of Pentacles here, and they're kind of, I mean, I think this is Joey, and he's kind of up on stage acting. Now, whether or not that's relevant to you, but it definitely feels like maybe you present something together. This could be a conference meeting, something else, but maybe this is how you interact with them or where you're most likely to see them. But I'm definitely picking up on a work-related connection here. I feel like this makes it very difficult for you to actually get over what has gone on before between you. And that's to say that I feel there was some kind of romantic liaison or interaction in the past. It may have not got past the flirting stage for some of you, but definitely for some of you it did. And, you know, it's come to an abrupt end. I'm hearing there could have been another person involved in this as well. And, you know, neither one of you has really recovered from this or really delved deep into the emotional nature of what happened. Now, it does feel like you're ready to take a leap of faith and try again, but your person's saying, unfortunately, now it just simply isn't the time for that. There is so much truth to still be revealed, and they're also bringing to your attention that you are very much in distorted energy. Now, the bat, actually, that's not a bat, it's a black cat. But when the bat shows up, you know, this is asking you to pay attention to your intuition, specifically clairaudience, because the bat works with the kind of sonar frequencies. You know, it's listening to vibration, energy and sound. So your clairsentience and clairaudience is very important in this situation. I'm hearing that your intuition, you know, does communicate with you, but you're not always very good at listening to it. It's like you can feel so many details, but you struggle to be objective about the information that's coming through. Your person's saying you're not acknowledging the truth about the state of the energy that you're in. You are very much in distorted feminine energy. When the Queen of Wands comes up in reverse, this is someone that uses their power, femininity, sexuality and spiritual skill to cross a boundary. You know, you're not in balance. Your actions, your communication, the way you're handling things actually have an agenda. And, you know, this is why it's this zebra, which is kind of camouflaged or hidden. I don't think you've acknowledged this about yourself, and your person's saying very clearly, please focus on your healing. You have no power to make me grow or heal, and your focus on my healing is chasing energy. You're not seeing this about yourself. You know, you very much feel like you're in surrender and that you're just trying to help the healing along. But in truth, you know, you're very determined effort to kind of try and get this person to see what exists between you or to try and heal them. You know, in the background really reveals that you're not being entirely honest with yourself, that your shadow aspects, your light and dark aspects are being camouflaged and they're not being acknowledged. And with the dragonfly here, you know, there is so much deep emotional stuff that hasn't yet been tackled. Now, when the Ten of Swords comes up in reverse, we can see here, I mean, this is an energy that's traditionally associated with betrayal, but look, she's hiding the sword of truth behind their back. We see one person coming forward with those red roses, which symbolizes passion and love and an offer, and the other person concealing the truth and the swords behind their back. And this is a blocked energy. So whatever it was that went between you, it hasn't been resolved. And we've got this Page of Wands energy in here, under here. Now I'm hearing that I think it was your person that wasn't entirely honest with you. They may have been seeing someone else. They may have kept the truth from you. It's not that they were in a deliberate player energy. I'm hearing that you misread the signals and cues, that what happened between you wasn't as deep or committed as you would have liked to have believed, that those conversations weren't had. And so this person doesn't feel that they did anything wrong, but you've still not recovered from what you perceive as an act of betrayal in this situation. Now, this person hasn't given up on you. You know, they haven't given up on you, but they're also answering the call of their soul, and that requires them to take time for themselves. You know, this person is tapping into their own wisdom. You know, it says here, learn from life, and they're saying that this is the goal for each of you at this moment in time. Now, you've got a lot of animals showing up here. We've got a hummingbird, we've got a cat, a dog. There's loads of fruit here. You've got another cat trying to chase a bird here. Lots of bird energy. You've got this raven or crow. I'm not sure which it is. And you've got a dragon. Just looking. We've got roses. In terms of flowers, these are... That's morning glory, I think, those trumpet flowers. I could be wrong. What else have we got showing up here for... Obviously, you've got... There's a cat here. We've got sunflowers, poppies as well in the background here. So your person is very, very intuitive. They very much sense that there is a deep connection between you. You may have discussed this with them, but you know, with that dragonfly energy, this is someone that is very comfortably able to detach from their emotional body. And at this moment in time, you know, they are choosing not to delve deep into this, but they do feel your depths, and they find it a little bit intimidating if they're honest. You know, they never intended for this connection between you to get serious, and because it's in the workplace, it may have felt very challenging or uncomfortable to have been, for each of you to have been in that position. And obviously this has made it very difficult for you to recover and kind of, pardon me, move past these energies. You know, the heart card here, which is a number 31, we see these two people in a boat in the ocean. Again, they're navigating the emotional charge between them, but neither one of them is prepared to swim in it, dive in and really experience it when they're together. It's like there's a natural barrier there that tries to keep things platonic, keep things on the down low. This person's definitely trying to make sure that the work situation can be stable for both of you and that everyone can be comfortable. The medallion is a beautiful energy to show up here, because I feel like they really do feel that you deserve a medal for how you've handled this situation. You know, even though they may have appeared frustrated with you, they really want to communicate how much they value your presence, not just as a colleague, but as a friend. They have a great deal of respect for you. You know, they are listening to their own intuition, but they want to make you aware that their intuition is telling them something different. You know, you're intended to move forward in your own truth, to light your own path. You don't need to illuminate theirs, because they will follow. And they're saying, you know, you're just putting your attentions in the wrong place. You're focusing on me. You're assuming that this isn't happening because of me, and if you can help me resolve my stuff, it's going to happen. But again, they're saying you're not being honest with yourself about this chasing energy, which they're saying can sometimes feel invasive. You know, you might be asking colleagues about them or trying to find information. Or again, there was a suggestion here that you're using your spiritual skills or contacts to try and kind of, I guess, invade their privacy. They feel invaded. You know, and this moon dragon energy here, this is what kind of creates the energy of distrust, because sometimes they feel like you cross that work boundary, and they're trying very hard to kind of keep that on the level, to generate harmony there. I'm hearing they have shown you a lot of work, a lot of respect in the workplace, and they haven't let, you know, their fears and their feelings around this interfere with the professional stuff, you know. But they're saying you both need to learn from life, and that's something that, you know, needs to happen independent of one another, and that this is what you now have an opportunity to do. Hummingbird dreams is a beautiful energy. You know, they really vibe and buzz off the fantasy and the daydream state that includes you. You know, they do see all of this joy and delight. They have that other perspective, but I'm hearing that, you know, their opportunity to move towards that is currently upside down. It's not available to them at this moment in time. You know, you guys still need to find some equilibrium within yourselves. And I want to draw your attention to, apart from this work card here, where there are two people, you know, facing each other and collaborating, and this one here, which is in reverse, all of these cards represent very individual energies. You know, the power of solitude comes through very, very strong in this reading. And I feel very strongly that, you know, they're saying to you, I want to take that leap of faith, and at some point I will, but now is not the time. There is so much that still needs to occur here. And you've got the goose there as well. I didn't spot that if you'd asked for that as a sign. We've got feathers indicated here as well, lots of books. I'm trying to see what else is here that we've missed. There's alcohol, there's a bottle of wine here as well. So yeah, I feel like, you know, this person is trying to be as amiable as they can be, but, you know, they're just not feeling this right now. It's just not the right time. Each of you needs to bring yourselves back into balance. There's work for you to do individually. You need to practice discernment, you know, because I feel like, because you're using your spirituality to meet your agenda, your egoic desires, it means that the real intuitive hits sometimes get lost in ego. And so, you know, you need to work on your level of discernment. I'm hearing you are a very gifted intuitive. You know, this is something you have a very natural flair for. We see here listening to wisdom, and again, I feel like your person does as well. I think you're both very intuitive people. You know, you both feel into the energy of this situation, and, you know, unfortunately that doesn't work very much in your favor at the moment, because it means your person sees you coming. They know you're obsessed with them. They know you haven't moved on. They know that you're in this chasing energy, and, you know, they know that that's not in balance. And of course, as long as you're in that energy, that's going to continue pushing them away. And it's not personal, it's just how the energy works. You know, when you turn two magnets the wrong way round, they repel each other. And that's what's happening here. The energy is out of balance. So we've got the Hanged Man in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the Star. We've got the Three of Wands in reverse, Strength, the Two of Pentacles, the Death card in reverse, more poppies coming through there, and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And I want to get some message cards here as well. This is the White Rose Guidance Divine Love Messages Volume 2 deck. I've never cared so deeply for someone before. Can you handle all of my scars? Your name is following me everywhere. You are always safe with me. And things aren't always as they seem. Very interesting. Let's get some more of these archetype cards as well. We've got the Gem, the Ring, and the Vision. So from the perspective your person has presently, they cannot see that this connection is going to fulfill them right now. They care about you very deeply, and they do recognize that that care really does run deep. They know that they've never felt this way about someone before, and they need you to know that them running away isn't because they're not coming back. Remember the Eight of Pentacles, and I just want to show you this card because the lady has a guitar on her back. That's Phoebe right there. But you know, she's got a mountain to climb in the distance there. She's on her own journey. But remember, 8 is a cyclic number. It's an infinite number. It comes back in on itself. And so, you know, they're just reassuring you that just because I've moved away from you right now doesn't mean I'm never coming back. But both of us need to, find the courage and strength to resolve our own wounding. And they're not sure that you can handle theirs. I'm hearing this person is very stoic. You know, they've got a stiff upper lip. They're very good at kind of putting on a very calm, very controlled, very, balanced demeanor. But they have trauma and scars like everybody else. You've just not seen it. And because you've not seen it and there's been no indication of it, you often underestimate how much work they actually have to do on the inside. I'm hearing this person has had a very messy love life. You know, they've been involved with you at work. There was another person, and there may have even been, a really committed partner in the background of that. You know, someone doesn't behave that way unless they have a lot of wounding. You know, those are very unbalanced decisions to be making in relationships. But again, this person's saying, I do have love for you. That hasn't changed. But this present situation is a nightmare. And, this is a 9. This is energy that we both need to transmute individually. And they are not ready to face it in the way you are. We've got the Death card in reverse. They're saying this is a slower process for me. But you are safe in this situation. I haven't really fully run away from you. I'm still present. I'm still being respectful. I'm still trying to be your friend as far as it's safe to do so without me giving you false hope. We've got the Star here, and this is a really optimistic, beautiful energy for the future. And, we can see here she's pouring a cup of tea and she's feeding a plant. This suggests to me that they want to nurture this connection. They're optimistic about their opportunities to grow the energy between you. But again, with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, they're being very firm that now is not the time for union. I can't be with you right now. For one, your own energy is distorted, but also is mine. I know my life looks calm, but things aren't always as they seem. And they're asking you to stop jumping to such massive conclusions and assumptions about what's happening in their life. And they're also urging you to consider that it doesn't serve you to know. And that if they haven't communicated it with you, perhaps you're not meant to know, and that really you should try and let go, focus on yourself. We've got the Gem and the Ring here, and this one, as soon as it came through, it was really like you are a gem. You are a shining star in a sea of darkness, and they really, really love and appreciate what you bring to the table. The Ring, I want to say this is connected to commitment, but actually I got such a more powerful intuitive hit of this when I pulled it out, because twin flames are connected by a ring of energy. And what I'm hearing here is they see this, they understand that there is an energetic, eternal connection and soul bond between you, but they're also drawing to attention that, this has to be brought into balance. And you have to see and recognize that as well. At the moment, it's all jumbled. It can only be brought into balance when each of you does your part. And this card actually looks really similar to the ring as well. We have a counterpart on both sides. It's meeting of the energies in the middle. The snakes represented, we've got trees representing growth, and they're saying hold your vision. There's still a mountain to climb here. You know, like they've said here, we've got to climb our own mountains and maybe we'll meet at the peak. But for now, you know, there is too much energy that needs to be processed and transmuted and kind of, you know, brought into balance is what I'm really hearing about this. So what else do they want to say to you? What else do they want to say? The lizard, the snake, the dolphin, the eagle, and the nightingale. The nightingale really shows up for me at the moment. It's such a beautiful parallel. If you've never heard a nightingale sing, Google it and have a listen. They usually sing at dusk, just before it turns really dark. And they've got such a crazy, crazy tune. It's so variable. It sounds like aliens. I love it. Meditation to dig deep. Meditation for peace and serenity. Wow. Connect with Gaia. And rebirth and reinvention. These cards have come up in the other piles as well. So these are very common collective energies that we're dealing with right now. I'm going to get some of these cards as well. These are blanks that I have written on myself. So what's your person want to say to you here? When I'm with you, the world seems a kinder place. That's lovely. It feels easier to keep you as a fantasy. Time is not running out. Trust in the divine plan. Everything is as it's meant to be. I am ready, I'm trying, but I'm scared. Please be patient with me. Dream big. Your thoughts equals creation. Okay. So, you know, with the lizard and the snake, these are both cold-blooded animals. And this person's saying, I'm really sorry I'm defensive, but right now I need to put healthy boundaries in place because you haven't yet learned what healthy boundaries mean. And they're also highlighting that you don't have healthy boundaries in other relationships either. They're asking you to have a conversation with the friends you trust the most and get their feedback on this as well, because they're saying, you know, this is a pattern in your life that because you don't have boundaries for yourself, you don't necessarily respect or see the need for other people's. This is a common theme that comes up in a lot of my readings, but this person is asking you to speak to your friends, the friends that you trust the most, and ask them how they feel about it, because they're saying there are some friends in your zone of awareness that, you know, will give you that honest feedback and that actually struggle with the way you show up in those friendships, and this is going to help you grow. They do want to be in more playful, easygoing energy with you, again with this dolphin energy, but you know, they are a bit prickly and more standoffish because they see these shadow aspects there and they don't want to kind of create too much space for you to cross that boundary. So again, they're saying, you know, as you start to heal and resolving these things about yourself, and that energy of the ring you share comes into balance, this is when they can open up and be more receptive, you know, to a friendship or more interaction with you. But they're saying at the moment, as soon as they create an opening, it's like, you know, if they open the door a chink, you're kind of smashing through it and, you know, bursting through with too much speed and too much kind of strong energy. And so they have to keep things closed down. They do have a higher perspective, not higher than you, but they do understand what's happening here. And, you know, they're asking you to tap into this and understand it with your own intuition too. Now, the dolphins come up twice here with rebirth and rejuvenation. You know, again, they're saying to you that there will be a new beginning where we can get into the emotions and be vulnerable with one another. I'm really noticing how this woman's naked, but we've got this turtle energy here, which shows these turtles moving very slowly from earth to water. And they're saying you have to give this time. You know, the nightingale, this is about, remember we said the song before nightfall, and what I'm hearing is you really do light up their world. You know, you really do light up their heart. They have a song in their heart for you, which helps alleviate the darkness within them. They're asking you to trust that they do have those feelings. But right now, because this isn't a healthy dynamic and you've each got individual work to do, that it simply isn't safe for them to communicate that. Meditation to dig deep, a meditation for peace and serenity. Again, we have that contrast here between earth and water. You know, we've got the dog that appears in both of these cards, a symbol of loyalty and companionship. And I'm hearing if this is a twin flame connection, you know, this is where you can find each other in your meditative practices. When you go within, your person's energy and presence is always there with you. And this is where you can start doing the work. You know, you've got these amethysts here as well, and these little mushrooms. Mushrooms are representative of emotional growth, and of course amethyst is all about it's a very calming stone, but it's also connected to our psychic and intuitive responses. So I feel, you know, by grounding yourself and exploring your meditations, allowing time in meditation for this deeper emotional growth and that companionship that you can find with your person there, you know, you need to develop your psychic senses here to really feel into the truth of what is, because sometimes your ego misleads you. You know, connect with Gaia. More messages about grounding here, and you've got this kind of little Stonehenge symbol in the background, which is really beautiful. So, you know, trust in a new beginning. But right now, again, you know, these are very individual focused energies. You know, you need to get into your own emotions. Remember, there's another turtle and the crab and the fish here. You know, for those of you looking for signs, but you need to be able to really step into your emotion and acknowledge them from an authentic place, because at the moment, again, you do not see yourself in chasing energy. You honestly think you've transcended that, but your actions and behaviors and the way you communicate, and certainly your energy defies that. You know, I really don't think you are as surrendered as you think you are. You know, this person does see you as a very kind and loving and supportive energy, but right now, because the energies are so distorted, it's easier for them just to keep this as a daydream or a fantasy. And they're saying, you know, time isn't running out. Everything is as it's meant to be. You know, you're longing and yearning to make this go a bit faster, to kind of speed it up. And you may be spending a lot of money on healing, or, you know, trying to do something to speed them along. You know, this is really a sign that you're not in acceptance of the divine plan. Trying to heal so you can have union with another person is a chasing energy in and of itself. It's a contradiction of surrender and acceptance, which is to accept what is, and therefore I don't need to take action to make it different. You know, by all means, you should be working at coming into union with yourself. But, you know, if your focus is on trying to make this person see, trying to cultivate opportunities for their growth, for interactions and so forth, then you have to be real about where you're at. This person is ready and they are trying to heal themselves, but they're very scared to face themselves. Remember, we had that death card in reverse. You know, this person doesn't have the courage you have when it comes to facing their own shadows. And they're saying, you know, I need more time. Please be patient with me. They're also reminding you that your thoughts equal creation. You know, you need to continue manifesting the life you want, but you also have to be aware that your expectations of the worst case scenario sometimes thwart your attempts to manifest. And they're also reminding you that you can't manifest people. That contradicts the person's free will, you know, and that's not your intention here. You can manifest the lifestyle and some circumstances that, you know, feel good and right to you, but we can't manifest people. That's spell work, love spells. That's very much unethical, you know, to try and influence another person's free will. So if that's something you've been dabbling in, you really need to take a long, hard look at yourself and recognize that's massively out of balance. So let's see what the guidance is from their higher self. We've got the 10 of Wands in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the 3 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups. And we're going to get some more Fairy Wisdom Oracle cards. Dandelions. When fairies go bad. The Oldest Fairy. I'm thinking of you. From these Starseed cards, we've got Channel, Intuition, and a blue star. And I feel like I've done this for all past day, but I think this is really useful. We're going to get some crystal cards here as well, so you know what crystals you can work with that are going to be the most productive for healing. And of course, you don't have to create crystal grids like this. You could just have a single stone in your pocket or your bra. Lots of ways to use them. We've got rainbow aura quartz. We've got jade. And we've got cuprite. I don't have any cuprite to show you, but I will show you the others. Let's get some charms as well. Give it a good shake. Let's see what we've got for you here. We have got the bumblebee. We have got the map. We've got the twin quartz, so that's a very affirming sign for you. We've got the crescent moon. What's this tiny one? That's a Santa Claus. Tiny Santa Claus. Hello, I'm yours. We've got introvert. Is Mercury in retrograde? The cactus. Lit, and the rose tinted glasses. Okay, so guidance for you, pile 3. When the 10 of Wands comes up in reverse, again, this person is reminding you, I'm not ready to take responsibility for this situation yet. In dandelions, again, we see someone grounding, and there's a mole here in this energy for those of you looking for signs, but they're asking you to dig deep to find that balance and stability within you. You're not going to find it in this connection until you've found it in yourself. Again, now is not the time for a new beginning. And they're saying when fairies go bad, and I do feel there's a lot of negative vibrations around you too that needs to be transmuted. But again, you're guided that you need to take care of yourself. You know, this pain that exists here hasn't been transmuted, and you know, there's a lot of unprocessed, unresolved grief here that you haven't yet figured out. You know, you need this time on your own that you've got now. This separation is a gift, and I'm really drawn back to this kind of Santa Claus. You know, you may feel like you've been on the naughty list, but in truth, you know, this is one of those blessings that you won't recognize until you've got the benefit of hindsight. Again, you know, when the crescent moons comes up, you've got intuition as well, and it says trust your intuition. It's been guiding you to the answers you seek, if only you will listen to it. And again, this is about discernment, getting past your own ego. I think the most beautiful card here is this hello, I am yours, because this really affirms, along with this twin quartz, you know, the nature of this connection. If you believe that this person is your twin and that there is an eternal bond, then it's a contradiction to have fear about losing them. That's a contradiction of your belief. And remember, it says dream big, your thoughts equals creation. You just need to relax. This person is yours. Just because they're not with you now and this can't work right now doesn't mean it's not going to work. You are both old souls. You know, this is a divine connection. This person's always thinking of you. You've got a snail here as well, but it's slow moving energy. And you just need to let it move at the pace it's intended to. Stop trying to rush it. Stop trying to control it. That is the ego. That's not coming from source. It's not coming from spirit or your person's higher self. It's coming from your ego. And we've got here is Mercury in retrograde. At the time of uploading, it is not. But, you know, when this comes up, it suggests that there are struggles when it comes to communication. And actually, you know, when Mercury is in retrograde, we're guided not to try and broach any challenging conversations or, you know, save important communication until the retrograde has passed. And so I do really feel like this is cautioning you, you know, against communication on deep topics right now. You need to back off and leave this person alone. Again, you're not realizing how intense and pressured and chasing your energy is. You know, there is a roadmap, there is a divine plan, and you are both on this path and you are moving in the same direction, but you may need to take different paths at this time and reconvene later. You need to get in the energy of acceptance around this. Again, you know, the bumblebee, this may just be a sign or symbol for you, but this connects to that work effort, and they're saying this needs to be our priority. We have important work to do, and it says here as well, you are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. And I don't know what you do for work, but it's important. The work you two are doing together is important, and it may not seem on the surface like light work, but it is creating positive change that you may be maybe just can't acknowledge yet. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. Remember, blue is the color of truth and authenticity. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul, and you haven't connected with that yet. You know, you think you have, but there is more to be done here. You know, now is the time to keep your thoughts, feelings, and communication to yourself. Your person isn't receptive to communication, and it doesn't need to happen yet. It's not a good time. You may find that they're very prickly, unyielding, and perhaps quite cold, you know, not revealing their emotions, and that's okay. You can light this situation up, but again, you're being asked to follow your own light. You're also, you know, with the rose tinted glasses, are being asked to see this situation a lot more clearly, because you miss this person so much and you've not had an opportunity to really experience a deep relationship with them. You have this habit of idealizing or romanticizing things, and that inhibits you from seeing who they really are. Obviously, you see the light in them, but we're all made of light and shadow, and it's important that you recognize the challenges ahead. Remember, this person has got more going on beneath the surface than you're aware of, and you being, you know, kind of having stars in your eyes every time you see them, seeing them through these rose tinted glasses is also a turn off for them, because it makes them question your integrity and your devotion. You know, they assume this person doesn't really know me. They've got this really idealistic, romantic view of who I am. And actually, if they found out who I really am, they probably wouldn't like me as much. And so, you know, it doesn't do you any favors to kind of romanticize this. If anything, it makes them more insecure, because, you know, they recognize that you don't know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's look at these crystals for you. Now, we've got rainbow, aura quartz, jade, and cooperite. I'm going to get some of those for you. I don't have cooperite. Now, this is an angel aura quartz, which is kind of the same thing, because you can see it's very rainbowy. But basically, aura quartz is coated with gold, titanium, or something else. This is what you need. I'm going to hold it up so that you can pause the video and read that. Aura healing magic, universal light. It's relative to all signs, and this is the energy of Mars. So this is going to help you resolve conflict as well. Absolutely beautiful stone. This is very high vibrational. Remember, when we combine crystals with metal, it amplifies the energy, and this being clear quartz is an amplifier anyway. I am absolutely in love with this stone. Isn't it stunning? Okay, so that's that one. Now, jade, I've only got a piece of nephrite jade here, but it's pretty similar. And you can see it's a lovely green color. And it says here, wisdom, abundance, and good luck. Associated with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, and the energy of the planet Venus, which is connected to love. So again, you can pause the video and read that one. Cooperite, I don't have a piece of. It looks very gemmy and lush and red. Generosity, security, and flow. Again, you can pause the video. This is also the energy of Venus, and it's connected to Aquarius, which is a very altruistic energy. It encourages you to think about others and how this situation may be for them in relation to love and romance. So I really hope this helped Path 3. I'm going to take this over to the extended reading now. We're going to go a bit deeper. I want to look at thoughts and feelings, and, you know, get some idea of your person's intentions so you can prepare for the next steps. More messages from them, of course. So if this resonated for you and you'd like to join me there, you can find a link in the description box below. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing and for your beautiful feedback. I love to hear in the comments how you've experienced this reading. And a huge big thanks to the very generous souls that take the time to watch my commercials. That really is such a special energy exchange. I get a small amount of revenue for every 1,000 clicks or advert watches. And, you know, that adds up, and it really helps keep my channel ticking over. It also means that YouTube will continue to promote me, because, you know, they're making some revenue off the back of it. So thank you for those of you that do that. It really is such a beautiful energy exchange. 1 minute of your time, you know, for a 40-minute reading. Thank you, thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. So I will see you next time, Path 3. Take care. Bye.